A few days ago, we've gotten a closer look at the upcoming Bleach Rebirth of Souls and have gotten a video that has over 20 minutes of gameplay footage, consisting of multiple matches against a few different characters. So this isn't no quick edit trailer, this isn't a promotional trailer, this is literally just gameplay. There's been a lot of different takes that I've seen personally, and I thought I'd issue my own. But before I get into the details, I am going to go off topic a bit and mention that we have gotten a new trailer for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which has revealed the GT characters, which includes characters like Pan, Kid Goku, GT Goku, Baby Vegeta, Super Baby Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Omega Shenron. So they're putting the GT characters in the game. So that video I made 2 months ago, where one person went on the video and said, well, you misread Sean Schimmel's comments, when Sean Schimmel basically confirmed that these characters were going to be in the game because he mentioned that he did voice work for Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And I argued against that person, saying, a voice actor who's a professional is not going to mention a character that's not in the game that he did voice work for if the characters weren't going to be in the game. It turns out that, once again, I was correct. And anyone who hasn't seen this trailer, who's looking forward to Sparking Zero, you should check out the trailer because it's actually a really good trailer. And there's still 11 character slots left. I'd imagine those are going to be filled with movie characters. We may see characters like Turles, Android 13, Super Android 13, all three forms of Cooler, his first form, his final form, and Meta Cooler. Tapion may be in the game. Maybe they'll include Garlic Jr., Orange Piccolo from the Dragon Ball superhero movie. Those characters may be in the game. So it looks like they got at least one more trailer left before release next month, before the game's release next month. So I'm looking forward to seeing what further reveals they have, but I did want to just mention that real quick. So getting back to the video topic here. Looking at the gameplay for this, I have some concerns. And I am going to note that I'm still going to buy this game, whether it turns out to be good or bad, because, this is a dream game of mine and has been for years, that we get a proper modern AAA, Bleach fighting game. And I've been hoping for a long time that there would be a developer that would take up a project like this for this particular series as a more casual Bleach fan. I'm glad it's happening. However, I do have some concerns. The first thing I want to mention is this health system. I think this health system is unnecessary. Essentially what it is, each character has 9 health bars. You have this number up here that represents how many health bars you have left, and then below that you have your actual individual health bar. On the side right here we have the what appears to be the Bankai meter, and then we have some more information down here with your reverse gauges and whatnot for counterattacks and what have you. Now, if the characters have multiple health bars, I don't have an issue with that. We've seen that with the Dragon Ball Budokai games and the Budokai Tenkaichi games, where the characters had multiple health bars. We also saw that with the Naruto Storm games as well, where the characters have multiple health bars. So that's not really an issue. I think the way they've articulated it here on screen is a bit strange. They don't really need to have like a number right here to express that. But there's a reason why they have it displayed on screen like this, is because the characters can launch certain attacks that will take out multiple health bars in a single attack. So they have the numbers displayed on screen to give the player information as to, how many health bars they've lost after, certain attacks are launched. Again, I really don't believe that this is necessary. I think they could have found a more creative way, a more simplified way to express this, because it looks like the game's going to suffer a bit from UI clutter in comparison to other similar anime games. That's one criticism I have, is not necessarily the health system, but just the way the UI has been designed on screen in general. One thing I do like is the way the characters are animated, like the actual character models, the attack animations, and the environment is destructible, as we've seen in this particular fight between Gin and Ichigo. That's something that I do like about the game, but one common criticism that I am seeing is that people feel that the game is moving a bit too slow. And regarding that criticism, which I believe is valid, I don't think that people are necessarily saying that the game is moving slow as much as they're saying it's moving slow compared to Naruto Storm and Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi, or the upcoming Sparking Zero. It's clearly not moving as fast as those games are, and this seems to be an abnormal arena fighting game, which is what this is. It looks like the characters can't move freely on their own, the way you can in the Naruto Storm games and the Dragon Ball Tenkaichi games, at least from what we've seen. Now, there may be some type of lock-on system that you can enable and disable at will, similar to what you have in the Tenkaichi games, that will allow the characters to move freely about the stage. Right now, we don't have any information if that's the case or not, but it appears that the characters remain locked on to each other. So for some people, this should be considered as a more traditional fighting game, similar to like Soul Calibur or Tekken. And they're trying to say that this isn't an arena, a typical anime arena fighting game. As far as I'm concerned, with the camera being zoomed out the way it is and the amount of distance that the characters can cover, this should still be considered an arena anime fighting game and not a traditional fighting game similar to what you have with Soul Calibur and Tekken. It doesn't appear to be like one of those games, and again, it shouldn't be considered as a more traditional 3D fighting experience. But that was the common criticism that I saw from this particular gameplay showcase. One person here is saying this looks so slow for some reason. Lots of forced stops in gameplay as well. On that particular point, I agree. That's another criticism I have. There's moments in the gameplay where the game will just like pause to show you like almost like a brief cutscene. And what that does is that it pauses the action and it throws off the pacing of the fight. And you can see that multiple times in the different fights in this video. I think the reason they did that is so it's a bit closer to the anime, but I don't believe it's really necessary to do that. At the same time, I don't think it's too much of a problem in the gameplay itself, but it is a valid criticism in my opinion. A bigger criticism that I've noticed is that the characters are continuously using the same attack animations over and over again, and this isn't being developed by CyberConnect 2, the same development studio that developed the Naruto Storm and the Demon Slayer game. Even though this is from a different development studio, I think it's a valid question to ask just how much depth the fighting system actually has, especially since the game seems to be focused on delivering as much fan service as possible, even at the expense of delivering a true, authentic, competitive fighting experience. Again, with the forced stops here in the gameplay to showcase a transformation or some kind of special attack, or whatever this is, how many health bars you lose with a particular attack. Again, I feel those elements are unnecessary and they're just thrown in purely for fan service purposes to try and make it closer to the actual style of the show. Another question that's been raised in this video right here is why the characters are in the air so much, which seems to be contributing to the slower pace of the fights themselves. Now, this is something the characters do in the show, but a lot of the fights that are in the show take place on the ground. And since almost every fight displayed in this video, at least until towards the end, appears to be a game where the characters are in the air more than 80% of the time, I was wondering myself if there's any ground combat at all. And there actually is. So we do have the characters here fighting on the ground. But again, that doesn't seem to be where they'll be for most of the fight, in most cases. So for anyone who was wondering whether that was going to be a thing or not, you can rest assured that the characters won't be in the air 24/7. Now, certain characters do seem to be a bit overpowered and just unbalanced compared to other characters on the roster. For example, Byakuya here can clearly attack from almost any distance across the stage, so he seems to be a bit broken compared to some of the other characters that are on the roster. Another example would be Yoruichi here, who should be a bit faster than some of the other characters, but she seems to be fast to the point of being almost broken. So it does seem that certain characters will be a bit overpowered, a bit OP, compared to the other characters that are on the roster. That may not bother some people because, again, I think most of this game's audience will care more about fan service and being faithful to the source material compared to the game being an actual fun competitive experience. This is an anime arena fighting game after all, so I don't think that there's going to be a heavy emphasis on being a true competitive experience. Doesn't mean that the game won't be fun, it just means that, like many other anime games, it's going to focus more on fan service than anything else with regards to its fun factor. But I am questioning, after seeing some extended gameplay for this now, just how much depth the game is actually going to have. Because again, I am seeing the same attack animations play out over and over and over again. Even after the characters power up, I'm not really seeing anything different. And it could be just the way that these particular players that's providing this demonstration are interacting with the game and they're not showing off any major extended combos or anything like that, so that could be the case, but right now it does seem to be a bit light in terms of depth. Now there was a combo, an extended combo that was shown at the beginning of this gameplay video with whoever was controlling Geen, and he gets in almost a 20 hit combo right here. So that's the kind of depth that that I want to see. And it looks like the player used some kind of combo extender right here. This meter was activated and it extended the player's combo right there. I want to know more about how that system works because that's the only time something like that's really seen in this video from what I've noticed. Another thing I've noticed is that the characters seem to be able to activate Bankai even when they're not low on health. I'm not really sure why they designed it that way because typically in a game like this, you can only use transformations if your character falls below a certain threshold regarding their health. But here it appears that all you have to do is fill this meter, and regardless of where your health is at, you can use your Bankai or Shikai transformation. I don't think that's really going to take anything away from the actual gameplay, but for some players, they may find that to be a bit annoying because whenever you use Bankai, again, it's something that slows down the pacing of the fight because then you have to watch a little, cutscene of the character transforming, which we saw multiple times in this gameplay presentation. Aside from those few points and critiques, the game looks fine to me. It doesn't look amazing, it doesn't look, great or fantastic, but the game does appear to be serviceable. It appears that it's going to give the majority of fans what they want. There are some people that have asked for a more traditional 2D fighting experience similar to the Dragon Ball FighterZ. The thing is, Dragon Ball FighterZ was a passion project from Arc System Works, and you're not going to see a 2D anime game based on a popular license like Bleach unless it's a passion project and unless it's designed by Arc System Works. I don't know any other company that would develop something like that. So to expect a game like that for a different anime franchise, I think is highly unrealistic as it stands right now. I think most anime fighting games work better as arena fighting games, but most developers don't know how to develop them properly. Aside from the developers that have worked on the Tenkaichi series and obviously CyberConnect 2, I don't think really any other developer has come up with a different formula for an arena anime fighting game that actually, works. This one seems like it'll be pretty good, but Some people do have an issue with what's been shown. Some people have even expressed that they're no longer interested in this game based on what's been shown. That's going to vary from person to person. I myself, I'm still looking forward to the game. I'm still going to purchase the game, but my expectations have been lowered based off of what's been shown thus far. But they haven't been lowered to the point where I'm not going to buy the game at all. I do agree that some elements of the game look a bit slow. With certain attack animations, like with Ichigo here, they have like a brief pause in the animation, which I think is unnecessary and just adds to the overall slow feel for the pacing of the fighting system. If they removed that, maybe more people who are saying the game appears to be slow would be happy. And again, there's quite a few people that are complaining about that. Seriously, turn the speed up to 1.5 and it looks normal. Maybe it's the performance. They have to speed the whole game up a little. So again, it's a critique that that I do agree with, but I don't think that it's so bad to the point where it completely ruins the game. Just based off of what I've seen of the game thus far. I just think that there's certain elements of the game that shouldn't be as slow as they are. Like when the characters get knocked back and they just hang in the air for a few seconds, I think that's completely unnecessary. It looks a little weird with the long animation of it. So I think those things could be addressed. But ultimately, based off of what's been shown here, I think what we see is what we're going to get. I don't think the game is going to change much between now and whenever this releases, which I think will be sometime in Q1 of 2025. This clearly is not coming out this year. It's either going to be probably Q1 or Q2 of 2025 is my guess. They're still revealing characters for this game, I think weekly. So, and Rangiku was the last character that they revealed at the time of this particular recording. So, Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I'm curious how this game is going to perform and what some of the reactions will be when it finally drops.